Hello, this is my video review of myself. So, the main purpose of this is to more or less give you a target for what your technique should look like while you're on the perg and some things to think about. So, we'll go from toe to head in terms of pointing things out. But first, I want to mention that you should think about making a round motion no matter what you do, right? If you, for example, with this hand, if you kind of recover just straight back and forth, right? That's gonna make your recovery a bit awkward. It's gonna go up and back, up and back. Instead, make sure you recover nice and round, right? Nice and round and enter. Like this, right? So now my paddle is coming out a little bit, is flaring a little bit, and then back. It's flaring a little bit and then back. Everything that I'll point out, right, contributes to this round motion. So you can see that the end of this stroke, right, goes straight into the recovery and the start of the next stroke, right? And then I pull, and then I end, and I go straight into the next stroke. So there's no room for pausing, no room for lagging or any of that. It helps your body really flow. So you can think of rocking back and forth, okay? So now I'll go into everything from toe to head. I want you to focus on my legs, right? Look at my legs and how much I extended and the timing of it. So I loaded up right here. I think about loading this leg up with this pressure, right? I think about what I mean by loading is I press away with this leg away from this opposing pressure. So every time I extend this leg, right, it doesn't only affect my body movement, it also translates all the way from my leg through my arm to this very point where I'm pulling this back, right? Everything we do pulls this paddle back and pushes that water back. Okay, so I want you to look at my legs. See how I extend all the way through the stroke, right here, right? Even right here, I'm still pressing through it. Here, we'll look at a better example. Right here, I'm pressing all the way through my stroke until it's finished. Think about like if you play baseball or if you're hitting a ball with a bat, right? You're trying to imagine swinging through the ball instead of just swinging at the ball. Same thing with this, right? Our stroke doesn't only end here at our hip. Our stroke ends and follows through, and that follow through right here, right? That allows us to gain that momentum to recover. You can see that again. I follow through, right? Technically the stroke ends here, but I follow through and recover into the next stroke. So make sure you follow through not only with the legs, but also everything else, including, in this case, including the pull with that outside arm. Okay. Now, I want you to focus on my hip, my left hip. You can see as I bend that leg, right here, as that leg bends, it allows my hip to come forward. So it's not a forceful, like, scooch in my seat. It just allows my hip to slightly come forward so that I can press away with that leg, right? Press. Okay, next is the rotation. So I want you to see my core right here. Every time I rotate and derotate, I think about spinning along this axis, right? So I'm imagining there's an axis going straight down from my head to hips, and I'm rotating along that axis right here, right, to derotate. So to rotate, I set up there, and to derotate, right, I still derotate out of it. And what am I derotating against? I'm not just derotating for the sake of it, right? Just to look fancy. I'm actually opposing this pressure right here, right? So if I'm derotating with my core, right, I'm thinking about my core, I'm thinking about how I can make my arms stiff so that I can oppose this and pull this way, right? Oppose this, pulling that way, and pull it that way. So I want you to watch my core, right? As I do rotate along this axis. Look, I'm rotating. At this point, I'm feeling it, right? Pull this way. And I'm rotating, still this way, and I'm still pulling it. I'm translating this from into my arms into this pull. Even more, I follow through with my core. See how I derotate all the way, right? It's okay if I'm not completely square at this point. I'm a little past square, but that's okay. That helps me kind of follow through with my stroke and then spring back to the next stroke, as you can see right here. And then I rotate and the process starts all over again. Okay, next thing is the reach, right? The reach comes from the recovery. So that recovery is really initiated from my body, right? So my body starts the recovery right here, and then my arms just follow. And I'm really not reaching that far with my arms. As you can see, I'm just placing my hand right here, right? I'm really relaxed in the shoulders, and I'm just placing my hand right here. So minus the lean, I want everyone to think about just starting here. You see how relaxed I am? This is, let's see how much force I'm right? Even here, I'm really relaxed, even at a higher rate. So I want you to initiate that recovery with your body, and then place your hand right there. Yeah, place it there, and just place your hand. Don't reach too far with the shoulder, or else that can lead to injuries. Another thing in terms of that roundness, right? Imagine there's a ball right here, and imagine you're trying not to pop it, right? So with this top hand, think about pushing around that ball. Think about pulling around that ball. You can see what I mean? I'm pushing around that ball, and there's still an open space right here. That allows me to push with my chest and with this top hand effectively, right? If it's closed off, then you won't really be pressing in the correct way into the paddle, and it would feel a lot more awkward, right? If it's rounded, if all of this motion is rounded, then everything here is rounded, and it'll feel like the end of one stroke flows into the next. Okay. Yeah. So that's a lot of things. I'll kind of summarize what I covered. Oh, another thing, I'm not sure if I mentioned it already, but make sure you end your stroke high and go low, right? End high and enter low. That's because if you start low and go high, right, then you have this dead time where you have to then enter the water and then pull, right? Our goal is to minimize that time. So that's why my recovery is so high right here. So it starts right here. Right, you don't have to, I am really aggressive with this. So you don't have to recover as high as me, but make sure to, if you do, make sure to bend that elbow and not lift with your shoulder. And you can see that I enter low, right? I enter like right around this point, right? So it goes from high to low. Okay, so as a summary for what I want y'all to look after is that high to low. Also going from down here, leg drive, right? Leg drive, and make sure to follow through with everything. Bring that hip forward. That'll allow you to rotate through this axis, right? Rotate and derotate. And when you derotate, make sure you connect that core to that paddle, right? With anything you do, connect it to that paddle. Think of how it moves this paddle back and propels that water back. Next is this reach, right? I'm not reaching too far. I'm not overreaching. I'm just placing my hand right here. And keeping this open, keeping this imaginary beach ball there so that you're able to press around it and pull around it. And open up your chest so that it's not too closed off and awkward. And also, all this roundness will help you kind of get into the next stroke from the last, right? So if it's round, it's gonna go recover and in, recover and in, instead of just back and forth, back and forth. Okay, I hope that made sense. Let me know if you have any questions. Leave any comments down below for what you noticed in my form, if anything. And see you guys in the next one. Thank you. Smiley face. Bye-bye.